Hello, and I'm back, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a dream I had regarding prodigals returning home. This is prophetic word given. Excuse me for that. This is prophetic word given 5/24, 2023, and um, the Lord recently was able to confirm that they are in their path of metamorphosis, transitioning. And I posted last week regarding a butterfly where the wings are now halfway showing out of the cocoon, the chrysalis. But um, this vision actually, or this dream, excuse me, gives more insight as to this is the thing, they're already here. Like in the dream, they showed up, they were already there. And I have not had a dream or anything like that in the past 3 years. Okay, so this is pivotal. So this is a prophetic dream, and I'm going to share to give you hope, to show confirmation that as the Lord is doing harvest time, He is lifting up those kingdom families, kingdom marriages. So if you're waiting for a spouse, if you're waiting for your children to return, there is light at the end of the tunnel. We don't stay in wilderness and in, waiting period forever and ever. And it never, God keeps his promises, and he's going to fulfill this promise. Why? Because these are appointed times, and he needs the entire kingdom family to be together, because the spouse or the children, they have certain gifts. They have certain roles for the future generations to come, for the new Jerusalem, for even the millennial reign. Okay, so they have duties, they have a phenomenal calling, and he has to join them to keep his promise. God cannot lie, and he has already confirmed several times with other prophetic word, but directly to me as well, that the prodigals are returning. And what you see right now, it could be that person is driving you insane. That person is being very mean. That prodigal is in wicked ways, or let's say in disobedience. They're not even in the home, let's just say. And you could think, how could this be? How could it happen if if there I can't see it? And the Lord said recently, do not be fooled for what you cannot see. He is making waves. He says, I don't need to help him. He is making waves, and he's going to make it happen. Why? Because he promised you. Because you are his anointed. Because you are his favor. You have favor. Because kingdom families are like royal families. You're royalty. Why is he going to not treat his royalty with the best life possible? And the best life possible is rejoining the family together. Okay, so this is what happened in the dream. I was with my nephews and nieces, and I happened to be running errands, and I was driving in my van, and I could see in the rearview mirror. I'm saying a story, and I tell them the dream that I'm having a good time, and I'm laughing, joking around or something, and I happen to look in the rearview mirror, and I see, my nephew and nieces there, and I saw my son there too, in the car. So we suddenly, but but my daughter is not there. She's not in the car. In the dream, we already knew that she didn't want to come, like return. Okay? So then, soon after, we arrive at my mother's house. Suddenly, as we walk in the house, the thing is, prior to that, before I got to the house, in a different standpoint, okay, I was standing, um, so there's a hallway, you open the door, and there's a hallway wraps around, okay? And if you will pass the garage door, then and there's a bathroom there. There's one living room with the kitchen. It seemed like before I even got to inside the house, I saw her standing with the bathroom door open and against the door with the light on, and she was on her phone. I saw her. So as I entered, I thought, well, that was weird. It was kind of like a deja vu moment, like a mother's intuition. Like I already knew she was there. And so when I walked in, I saw her and she had the light on in the bathroom. The rest of the house was dark. And that's when I wrapped around to look at the kids, then it was confirmed that my son had already been there. He was with us because I saw him standing there. And then her demeanor was embarrassed, quiet, acknowledged that there was nothing for her in the past life. And she was acknowledging that she needs family. She needs us. And she hopes that we don't reject her. That's what I perceived in the vantage point. All right, so then in the vantage point with my son, he was very quiet. He was just tagging along. All the other cousins were laughing, but he was very quiet and content and not complaining, just quiet and almost acting thankful that he was just amongst family, just amongst a cheerful moment. And what we may take for granted, other people may miss out on that type of environment that's positive and uplifting. All right, so let's see what else I have here. I think, again, it was still daylight outside. The rest of the house was dark. But just that one room where she was in was light. Everybody just accepted them. Nobody was recalling how long it took them to get back, what they went through, this and that. It's like if we took off where we left off. And that was a beautiful moment. Now, there are a little more details regarding a dark room and light. I think the Lord made it obvious that that is His light, His anointed, appointed time, His covering, His light. Light is His presence. He wanted it to be known that He was the one that united the family. And that is going to happen in the very near future. So the Lord wants you to prepare for their return, because suddenly they weren't there. Okay, so they weren't there, and suddenly they were there. Okay, it was like that quick. Just like Joseph. Remember, he was in prison, and suddenly, I mean, well, he's always had a gift of being able to decipher dreams. Well, it happened to be that Pharaoh had this dream, intricate dream, and he was able to explain it, and that was his moment. And he just, from prison, within a day, he just, the Lord, not he, the Lord transformed his life, and he was second in command. Okay, so it's going to be not making sense in the regular way things go, where, maybe there's a court process, um, you're waiting for it to make sense, where it's just, you know, there's a little bit of conversation first and some rekindling, that sort of, and it was nothing like that. It was, they weren't there, and all of a sudden, bam, they're there. That is how the Lord's going to work. He's going to make supernatural appointed times where he's going to show up, and only he can do it that quick. Only he can do it that it's miraculous, especially for those who have been waiting for a very long time and been, you know, going through a series of emotions and anticipation. You don't have to wait for the rest of your life. In other words, I'm trying to tell you today is that this dream shows that it was, they were just there already. That's how the Lord is going to work. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to help him. You don't have to wait for your spouse, your husband, your wife to be like, you know, I guess, begging mode. You don't have to do that, because this is his job. This is way out of our control. And they're just going to get it one day, and he's just going to save them.